Unfortunately and honestly, it may be the worst book I have read in June or even in 2024. Hi guys, I'm Dan. Welcome to another reading vlog. June is such a great reading month for me. We are not even halfway through the month and I have already finished two chunky fantasy books, The Dragon Republic and also The Silver Blood Promise. Now it is the time for a palate cleanser. I have picked up a novella to cut through all these chunky books, and my choice is The Exile by Ryan Cahill, the second novella of the Bound and the Broken series. Don't worry, I won't just read this short book in this reading vlog. Later, probably when I finish this book, I will look at the result of my TBR poll and see which one gonna be my fourth book to read in June. I am actually already halfway through the book, and I mean, look at the size of it, it is not thick at all. We follow Ding in this novella as our main character, who was also a new character in the second book. This novella actually takes place before it, and we're gonna witness the second rebellion by the Atarius family. They want to be free from the Lorien Empire. Like the first novella, which was a total shock to me, it was such a great book. Even though this book is just a novella, it is packed with actions. We start with such an epic war and followed by a series of assassinations. Now Ding is an exile, but he won't forgive what the Empire has done to his family. On his way of revenge, we're gonna meet some familiar characters. And like I said in the TBR video and also probably the wrap-up video of Darkness and Light, I said there is gonna be more about Ding's relationship to Asen. There's definitely something going on in this book between Ding and Asen, and we're gonna find it out later. Next time when you see me, I will probably finish this book and share some more on it, and then we will see what is my fourth book to read in this month, and I guess I will see you later. See ya! Hi guys, I'm just quickly popping and say I have finished The Exile by Ryan Cahill, making this book the third book I have finished in June. This book is definitely entertaining. In just such a short novella, we know more about Ding's family and their failed second rebellion, how desperate Ding is for the revenge to the Empire. To be more specific, it should be those who are responsible for killing his family. He needs to work with an assassin called Banina, who got such a wicked sense of humor, and through her Ding can find out where are those people who are responsible for the death of his family. And he spent literally 7 years working with Banina first because Banina has to clear some old debt. Like I said, this novella is by no means long, it's only 150 pages, but it is packed with actions and emotional moments. For example, there is an experiment conducted by the Empire to the elves which was brutal, and they are kind of experimenting with the blood magic, and the ending with Asen. It is oddly satisfying and Ding kind of got what he wants, or maybe it is better. At last, we're gonna know how Ding gonna join the plot of the second book, which we already know. Now, according to the poll, there is actually a surprise. I didn't expect there's gonna be a tie between the rest of the two books, and then I have to set up another poll for these two. We have a clear winner, and it is 5 Broken Blades by Mike Holland. As you can see, it is the GSFF made book. I think this is an Korean or Japanese inspired fantasy book, and in short, it is about 5 people who wanna take this God King down. Every single one of them got their own past. For example, we have a mercenaries, we got an assassin who is good at poisoning, and we even have an exiled prince. They are kind of hired by different persons to do this job. Rather than saying, I'm so pissed with the king and I want to kill him, it's not like that. So far, I am 100 pages in, and these 5 people are working in a pair of 2, and they have started their journey to Yusan, where the king is. To be very honest, I am not quite enjoying this book and I am kind of disappointed. I think first of all is the writing. Even though I am reading a fantasy book, which normally I won't expect any whimsical, lyrical writing style, and my mother tongue is not English, so I don't really know how to appreciate this language. But I found the writing here is actually quite flat and average. My biggest problem is why on earth it is written in first person present tense. I think it would work great with series like 5-year trilogy, where we're gonna follow Fizz, this single one main character, and then throughout these 3 books we're gonna explore how he feels, and we're kind of like a close companion to him because it is in first person. We are literally living in his mind, seeing through his eyes. But putting it into a fantasy book that got 5 POVs, even though from the title of each chapter we're gonna know which character are we following, then the rest of the chapter would be like I, we, I, we. And then moving on to the next chapter, it would be a different character usually. But still it would be I, we. I mean, I know it's confusing, but it is how I feel. I am so confused by all this I and we. I sometimes even don't know which character I am following. Again, it's so weird to say it, but I hope you know what I mean. I am not sure why the author would choose first person with this multi-POV story, and I think it is the first time I read something like this, which I am confused by. Then I check on Goodreads. To be fair, there are quite a lot of good reviews. But then I read some are saying like, are we reading the same book? And I guess people are saying so because it is not as good as people say. I think this book is quite popular on trend on booktube, but I don't have an account, so I don't know. But so far, this book is probably the worst I have read in June. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just confused by the writing style, and I am finding it so hard to be invested in the story. But of course, I'll try to read more and see if my opinion gonna change. So I'll let you know. See you in a bit. Morning guys, I have been making such a good progress because in the last 24 hours, I have read another 100 pages, meaning that I am halfway through the book. At this point, I like how short and quick every chapter is. In each chapter, we're gonna know more about our characters' past and what they are planning exactly. They may have secrets they don't want others to know, and some of them may be working together. Like I said earlier, we're gonna follow 3 pairs of characters, and coincidentally, each pair got love interest between them. One pair, it is love at first sight. Another pair, it is like an ex-relationship. And the other one is like, I have been loving you, but I don't want to tell you. For some chapters, there are some smuts in there, so be ready for it. Alright, those are like possibly the good things I can talk about. Now let's talk about things I am not the biggest fan of. First of all, even though I am halfway through the book, I found some of the information I kept repeating. Let's say why the king is immortal and how we should kill him. The story did tell us about the past of certain characters, but it never gonna be a full story. So some elements of the past keep bringing up, but we never know what is actually going on. Who is gonna be the mastermind behind this murder attempt of the king? The direction it is going for is quite clear now, and I hope that there's gonna be a twist about it. Otherwise, from the beginning, from the get-go, we already know who is like the mastermind. And then I found that even though I have read over 200 pages, there is not too much significant progress because every character is still on their way to Yusan, where the king is. On their journey, what's gonna happen is mostly about the past or the love interest. I don't find anything significant is building up towards the plot. This also brings to the third point I wanna talk about. I'm not sure does it have a similar saying in English, but it literally means looking at the flowers when you are riding a horse. meaning that we are just taking a quick look of everything without appreciating it. I'm not saying that this story should be like so beautiful, so lyrical, so whimsical, so unexpected. I'm not saying things like that, but we are following 3 pairs of characters, 6 POVs in total. And you want to put world building, characters' history, and the love interest in a 400-page fantasy book? I find it so ambitious. To be honest, I find it really difficult to root for any single one of the characters because we are moving so quickly between all these POVs. Now I'll keep on reading this book, our characters are coming together, and I hope that things got better. So fingers crossed and see you later. Bye! Hi guys, I am happy to report I have finally finished the 5 Broken Blades. Unfortunately and honestly, it may be the worst book I have read in June or even in 2024. I gave it a 2-star on Goodreads. First of all, let's talk about the plot. Our main characters have to kill this god king, right? And on their journey to Yusan where the king is, there are actually some accidents that gonna question who to trust in this team. But our main characters didn't really think about would this undermine their operation. Is there someone else behind all of it? It feels to me the plot itself is actually quite loose in this sense. We have a goal to kill the God King and what happened before it as if it's not important at all. Our main characters didn't really think about what to do before getting to this goal. And the final twist, was I shocked? No, because that character has been sus all the way long. Am I happy with the ending? No, because it feels to me it is more like, this is just an April's Fool, haha, you have something else to do for me. If you have read it, you will know what I mean. The synopsis says that this book gonna be full of deceptions, lies, and betrayals. You can see more about this part in the second half of the book when our main characters are coming together. But I just find this element is not as strong as advertised. It will kind of affect the relationship between these 6 characters. Let's say some may cover up their real motive and some may work together for their own purpose. Is it a great mind game? No. Is it full of deception? Partly. Is it full of lies? Not really. But all of these mind games, all of these lies, all of this deception, does it affect the plot at all? I don't really think so, because the show must go on and they have to kill the God King no matter what. And I don't really see like this mind game is great at all. And coming to the love interest in this book, it is just so convenient. We got 3 pairs of lovers. The first one is love at first sight. We got a pair of ex coming back together. And we also got one pair that one secretly loving the other one for so long but didn't tell her. I just find everything happens so instantly, so quickly. There's no substance within these 3 relationships. Especially you know that there is gonna be a second book in this series. And then why you have to rush so many things, so many relationships? Where are the build-ups of it? You can leave it for the second book and you may just focus on 1 or 2 pairs of characters in the 5 Broken Blades. Like I said earlier, it is just a 400-page fantasy book, and you want to pack it with world building, which is already minimal, and you want to have character growth, which is absent, and you want to have a full-on romance. How on earth you can balance all these elements that construct a fantasy world well? The writing here, I find it quite average, to be honest. There are quite a lot of short paragraphs in a 3 to 4 page long chapter, and the sentences are just so broken as well, like the title of the book. If you don't have good writing, then how can you come up with good characters? This book is obviously selling these 3 pairs of lovers, but I just don't find them anything special for me to root for, to care about. Speaking of the characters, I just find them on the flat side and they are a bit stereotyping. Let's say I want to have a bushman, then all the way through the story, he's gonna be a serious alpha male. For example, he's gonna look at the thighs of the ladies, he's gonna be like so butch, don't say so much about his own feelings. And I find this leaning on the side of relying on the stereotyping of characters. Also, we may have horny one, posh one, poisonous one, mysterious one. All of them feels like they are acting towards that kind of personality they should be in, and it is missing something to make these characters special, a standout. Lastly, in the beginning of the book, it says that this is inspired by Korean culture, but don't take it too seriously because it is a fictional world that is constructed by the author's research. Maybe, just a maybe, I am not too familiar with Korean culture, so I didn't find anything significant to Korea other than the food culture, kimchi. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else shouting Korean or like inspired by its culture. Probably it is because there is not too much world building to this book. Let's say on the journey, the cities, the landscape we have ever seen, I don't think they are anything special, or even I would say they are bland because they are not memorable. If you say it is like inspired by Korean culture, I would expect a little bit more of it. Overall, it is a disappointing read, sorry guys, and it is probably the worst book I have read in this year. Let me know how you feel if you have finished this book. Are you on my side as well? So if you have enjoyed this week's reading vlog, don't forget to give it a like. If you don't want to miss any content from me, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. I will see you real soon. Goodbye.